So this is my first son. His name is Max. He loves playing basketball. So my typical weekend, naturally, being a parent, starts with driving him to a sport. So he's basketball. But at that level, at the end of the game, they simply give you two things: what your team scored and what the other team scored. And that's it. I'm working IT. I'm a database guy. I want more than this. I like data. So what did I do? I went over to apex.oracle.com and created myself a little mobile app, which has actually let me type in all the scores. So what happens now is, while they're playing, every time someone scores, I simply type in what quarter it was, timestamp when they scored, how many points they scored. Then an email comes from the coach saying, "Hi Connor, I got a new boy looking at joining the team. We don't know much about him, but let's assume he averages 13 points per game. Where would that place him amongst the team?" Now this is an interesting one because I've got some information here that this boy gets 13 points per game, but that's not stored in my database. It's simply stored in an email here. I have nothing in my database that says that he has 13 points. So how would I normally do this? Well, if I averages 13 points per game, what I could probably do is simply grab the player, sum up their points, and say, okay, just eyeball the data. Okay, 13 points, he's not as good as Will, not as good as Campbell, not as good as Robbie, or he's better than Robbie, not as good as Zach, not as good as Rory, etc. I could simply eyeball the data, but obviously I'd rather have a SQL solution to do that, and we have a facility to do that. It's called hypothetical analytics. Hypothetical analytics lets you present data and compare it against the existing data in your table. It looks like this. This new boy scores 13 points. I want to know where he would rank within the grouping by player, if I was to order them by points. So in this case, what I'm saying is he would rank him with 3. Because I did order by points by default, it's ascending. He is actually ranked third lowest, which means he is not the worst, not the second worst, but he's the third worst. If I'd ordered by points descending, his ranking would have come out maybe say 5th, as in the 5th best. So maybe you should have flipped that around. The syntax is, take this value, see where it ranks within the groupings if I was to order by points. And in this case, this new boy would be the third ranked player. The reason I wanted to do it with SQL is if the requirements get a bit more complex, then eyeballing is much harder to do. If the question is, he averages 13 points per game, but what if he actually gets 4 points per quarter? Where would he rank on a quarter by quarter basis? Well, it's literally a simple add a new group by. This guy, he gets 4 points per quarter and the rest is the same. That's much harder to do just by looking at the data, but with a SQL, it becomes easy. Based on people's first quarter rankings, he would be the 5th rank. Based on people's second quarter scores, he'd be the 4th ranked and so forth. So it becomes easy with these hypothetical analytics.